I made a donut last night too, but mine tasted way more like chalk than that beautiful donut you have there.
YouTube faithful, what's going on? It's Motivation Monday, and today I am feeling unmotivated. That's right, comment guy. Yesterday was a bloodbath. I mean, overall, the actual prop list was still over, like, right around 60%, but for some reason, in my own specific slip/lineups, it just didn't get there. I mean, I'm talking 3 of 4, 5 of 6, 2 of 3, 1 of 2, and I powered it all. It was just a chalk-filled Sunday. Injuries to Igbuka, injuries to Puka, Igbuka and Puka. I mean, you can't tell me that wasn't in the script. They both get injured. I mean, and Puka he gets injured, but he comes back to void the reboot, and he came back and did nothing. And then if that wasn't enough, Tyquan Thornton didn't get one single target last night because the Chiefs were never in second or third and long. They didn't have to throw a deep ball all night. And you know what's funny? I wanted Goff and Mahomes fantasy score in a 2-man, but I kept getting docked for correlation. So I finally made a lineup, 5 of 6 with no correlation, 25x, and Thornton was the last leg, and he couldn't cash. If Thornton would have got his receiving yards yesterday, I literally make $5,000 to $6,000. Another sell job was Mr. Vladimir Guerrero. Just goose eggs. And I can't even be mad because Thornton and Vlad have been cash cow wagons, and sometimes the wagons are gonna sell. But today is a new day. We put that crap behind us. As long as we have breath, we have a new day to try. I'm telling you guys, I've told you since day one, bankroll management and short memories, because NFL is literally brutality when it comes to big events. Any given Sunday, and this Sunday, all the favorites hit. But I will tell you this, as of this video recording, I have nuked the Bills minus 3.5. And when I say nuked, I mean I put a paycheck on it. And I'm not lying about that. Problem is, seems like the public's starting to get steam on that, and now I'm shaking and quaking in my boots. Okay, why did I take the Bills minus 3.5? A couple of reasons. Well, one, they just got embarrassed in prime time losing to the Patriots. The Bills were not supposed to lose to the Patriots. They got embarrassed. Granted, the Patriots have a good squad. They really do. They finally have a quarterback that is making it happen. But I will tell you this, Stephon Diggs would have cashed his receiving yards yesterday, but they called an offensive pass interference call, which if you go back and look at it, it's a clean bet, there's no need for a flag. He would have had over 60 yards, cashed his fantasy score. Him and Allen both sold their souls. But it's funny because both of those teams won, and they won using everyone else but the primary guys. But that's neither here nor there. I like the Bills because they got embarrassed. They're coming off of a loss, and I think that they're going to want to make a statement, especially with my Buccaneers getting a W last night. Josh Allen is feeling more pressure than ever because he's supposedly the best QB in the league. They're supposedly the best team in the league. Well, I'll tell you what, Baker's better, and the Bucs are better, and the Bucs are playing with a practice squad of guys right now. That's right, a practice squad of gents. So do with that what you will. I think that the Falcons are going to be throwing from behind, and I think that the Bills are going to clear. So when we make our slip today, keep that in mind. If you know me, you know I'm breaking my own rule. My rule is that I always take the home dogs. However, I broke the rule today because I feel like the narrative of the Bills coming off of a loss trumps it. If the Bills had won last week, I would be taking the Falcons plus 3.5. But since they lost, I'm taking it. I think they're going to not only win, but I'm hoping that they beat them down. But like I said, I'm quaking in my boots about that. But let's make a lineup. I'm not going to have a long video today. I'm in too much pain with my back. And those of you that have asked me how it's doing, let me give you an update. I sit in this chair 80 hours a week. I have a new chair, a Herman & Miller, that I ordered that should be here sometime, I don't know when. Hopefully at the end of October, I think it was October 24th, and hopefully that fixes the problem. I got a new bed. I have this new chair on the way. I've been stretching it every day, and it's still, I don't know, guys. It's my lower back. I get massages once a week. I went and got a blood workup. They found nothing in that regard. So it's really hard to lock in when I'm in pain, but I'm going to do my best here, guys. So it's going to be short. I'm sorry about that. I appreciate you guys watching anyways. And also, too, NBA season's coming around very soon, guys. It's going to be here literally next week. Next Monday? Well, actually, next Tuesday or Wednesday, it'll be NBA videos. And And once NBA starts, it's full systems go every day. Daily videos talking about the 6 to 7 NBA game slates that we have. We'll have a ton of props to choose from. It's going to be a lot better. Just grind out what you can, bet small while you can, and just, enjoy the time. Battlefield 6 came out. I gave out 3 copies. I already gave James his. I got to give one to J-Train. And then I'm still deciding if we're going to give one to Port City. I love Port City. He's a loyal Discord subscriber. But the man already has a copy. Now, is it fair to give the man another copy so he can have it on 2 systems, or should I respin the wheel? I don't know. You let me know in the comments if that disqualifies him. Let me know. But Unc James is already locked in. Hopefully we get a squad together. I personally think Battlefield 6 is mid, personally. I mean, I honestly have more fun playing COD, because when I play COD, when I hit someone, I feel it in the controller, in the kill feed. I like it. When you hit someone in Battlefield, it's just like you barely can tell. I don't like that, but that's a conversation for another day. Still have 2 more copies to give away to the general public that aren't in Discord, which will be done once my Instagram gets to 1,000 followers, and I'm nowhere near there. I'm like at 300. So you guys gotta pump it up, or don't. I'll keep the copies. I don't care. I'm trying to give away coin, trying to give back to the community, but you guys are selling your souls, and I'm fresh out of shekels. So let's move on. Let's build this lineup. All right. So number 1, what are we doing with the Bills? I'm gonna give you some options here. Okay. Kincaid and Pitts receiving yard combo, just like Kelsey and Laporta last night. I think this is good. I like tight ends in prime time. I like Kyle Pitts. I think he's gonna get peppered. If Kincaid is 100% good to go, you gotta look at this. Okay. They had him at like 36, I think. The moment they said that he might be dealing with some kind of an injury, the line moved down to 35.5. It's just something to consider, but I think that's okay. But that is not a core play. I just wanted to throw that out there. The core play is going to be how you script it, but I am going with obvious. Just like last night when I said Mahomes has got to be in the core, Josh Allen has to be in the core. Now you have a couple of options here. 1.5 pass TDs. 22 fantasy score, 34 rushing yards. I really don't see how any of these or all of these don't cash. I honestly think all of these are going to cash. The only thing that scares me about the pass TDs is that he hasn't had a game yet in the last 3 where he missed it. Number 1, we know he likes to rush them in. Number 2, and if they're beating them down so bad, it could just be a James Cook master class. Okay, that would be the dream scenario for me because I want them to win. Like I said, I nuked them -3.5, but you can go there. Another thing, Josh Allen's rushing yards. I think it's mint. The Falcons are almost dead last in rushing yards to opposing quarterbacks, and their secondary is going to be on fresh legs because they had a bye week. So if their DBs are locking up the receivers, which I think their receivers are poverty anyways, Josh Allen can literally settle the score with his legs. That's the beauty of having Josh Allen back there. I hate that it's popular, but it's remember, it's Josh Allen. It's a 2-game slate. Everything's going to be popular, okay? Especially the last 5 Kings. But 24.5 is going to be your most optimal line. Any of those 3 for Josh Allen. I'm all in on the Bills, guys. If you have a different read, you need to be going with the Falcons, guys, okay? I am hoping that Josh Allen comes out tonight and avenges his loss. If he doesn't, then chalk it all. Now, his longest rush, this is another one that I've been cashing every single week. I have been cashing his longest rush every single week. It is due regression, but when he takes off, he's not like grinding it out 3 yards at a time like someone like Ty Law would be doing. Josh Allen is getting like 10, 15 chunk plays when he runs the ball because the field is so spread by the field stretch play. He gets that open lane. However, you could just get a 13-yard rush and he chalks this. So maybe you just go with the rushing yards at 24.5 or 34.5. I think it's fine. If we go check the model, which it's blurry here intentionally for this screenshot, you can see Josh Allen, 22 fantasy score and 34.5 rushing yards. 34.5 rushing yards on 30 attempts, 234 pass yards. That's posted under Caps Daily News in the Discord right now if you want to get the full sheet. And then the other person that I want to talk about for the Bills is James Cook. He sold his soul last week on primetime television. He sold his soul, man. His soul. It's sold. He sold his soul. And for all you people last night that took Gibbs anytime touchdown, how'd that work out? It sold your soul because you see what is happening, guys. just because they did it 4 weeks in a row doesn't mean they're going to do it a 5th week. So keep that in mind for God's sakes. But James Cook selling his soul, I think you can go right back to his rushing yards. This fits the game script as they win. They're leading the pack and the Falcons have to be throwing. If you think that is a good game script, you'd want to be looking at James Cook's rushing yards. That's just how it has to be. Now, he's a boost on parlay play at like 59.5, which I took. I maxed it out. I think that's really good. Or you can go with Josh Allen. So enough about the Bills. Now let's talk about the Falcons, okay? And what are we doing with the Falcons? I'm keeping it ABC simple. These are your option squares for the Falcons. What am I doing with this video? I'm taking your board and eliminating it from 100 props down into maybe 10 choices. London 5.5 receptions. Why? He's going to get peppered. He's been getting peppered. They're at home. He's going to be the PPR guy. He is the wide receiver 1. He has over a 29% target share, which can't be ignored. And in addition to that, the Bills give up yards to wide receiver 1s. Look at what they did. Look at what Diggs did last week to the Bills, okay? London can get there. It's his yards or his receptions. But again, this is for the Falcons trailing script. If you don't think the Falcons are going to be trailing, I don't think I would be taking that at all. And then the obvious play is Bijan Robinson, but the problem is, what do we take with Bijan? Every Bijan prop is popular except for one, which was his receptions, which is why I literally just landed on that one. It has push equity. I think he's going to get looked at probably 5 to 6 times. They should be wanting to check down. I believe the Bills are allowing 5 catches to running backs per game, so it's something to be looked at. 3.5 would be mint, but you're not going to get a lot of pay, okay? Again, this sets up good if the Bills are applying pressure and he needs to check down. Again, fits the trailing script, okay? If they're going to be trailing, that means they're going to be lining up in 3 or 4 wideouts, which means Bijan's going to be in the back and shotgun, and they're going to have no choice but to check down if the wide receivers can't get open, or if the Bills bring the house. There's so many options. I think it's good. But if there was no popular play, with all things considered, also, I think Bijan at 89.5 rush plus receiving yards has to be considered. In my opinion, this dude is the best fantasy running back in the league. He's the best running back in the league, in my opinion, other than probably Mr. Dowdle right now, which cash everything for Dowdle yesterday and the week before. Let's go. But I don't know how you don't take Bijan at 89.5. Even if they're trailing, he's their best offensive weapon. He is their offense. Without Bijan, there's nothing else. It's that simple. His receiving yards, his rush yards, all of it's in play. His receptions. This is the most obvious play on the board. Look at the last 5 Kings are just going crazy. 181, 111, 168. I think they lost 30-0 to Carolina, and he still had over 111 rush plus receiving yards. So even if the Bills put belt to rear end tonight, he still should be able to cover this. This is probably the best square on the board, but again, it's heavy juiced. You're not going to get much payment for it, rightfully so. But if you're looking for like a juice cutter, as you guys call it, or something like that, Bijan Robinson, 89.5 rush plus receiving yards. I think that would be fine. And in my mortal nuke, I'm probably putting him in there later today. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about for this video, well, probably 2 more things. Jaden Daniels rushing yards. Now, everybody's going to be on Jaden Daniels. Cap, he's coming back from an injury. I don't care. The Bears are getting ran on all night by quarterbacks, running backs, all the backs. They're giving up yards on the ground, and I am taking Mr. Daniels. 46.5 rushing yards, and I think you could go with old Bill. He had a breakout game versus the Chargers, and I think that finally we might be able to get Bill in prime time going yard. 70.5 rushing yards is totally on the docket, but I chose one, and I just chose Jaden Daniels. But I wouldn't begrudge you a bit if you go with Mr. Jacory. Now, here's the thing. If you think I honestly hope and pray that the Bears don't lose by 6, but if you think that the Commanders are going to come out there tonight and run a train, then you gotta go with Mr. Jacory, okay? And I would lean less on Jaden, but even then, I still think Jaden is going to use his legs. That is their whole offense. That is their key. And then when you get to the Bears, it gets kind of dicey. So we'll talk about the Bears later today on the live stream, but go to CaptainCrush.net if you want to be in that live stream. You can get in for $24.99 right now. It grandfathers you in at that price for life. Avoid the pay hikes. You'll get my NFL, MLB, NBA models. They're live. You'll get all my slips, all my daily prop lists, access to the community, and more. If you join any of my partners, Underdog, Chalkboard, Sleeper, or Parlay Play, you get 30 days free. Now, if you deposit, they give you a free 25 after you play through 100, okay? But now, you can take multiple parlay NFLs on Kalshi. So you can take the money lines and stuff like that, which is how I was able to take the Bills -3.5. It's really good. Click the link here, use code CRUSH, and make sure you take advantage of that. That's just a gift to you guys. I don't really get anything from it. That's the truth. But you click join now, and the live stream will be on today at 5:30 Central today. That's right, 5:30 Central. Normally it's 5:45, but since we have a doubleheader, 5:30 Central, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever you want to do. CaptainCrush.net, guys. You know the drill. If you've been watching this channel, you know the ups and downs. It's part of the game, but at least you'll have a good community and at least you'll have the tools to succeed. So let's build a lineup and then see if we can find a bear. Now, I like to take my lineups over on Parlay Play because 1, they're my partner, and 2, they have so many lines, whereas PrizePicks is very limited. So look, let's look at Jaden Daniels. They have 46. They have 39.5 at 1.5. That's the one that I'm going to take for this. And then Allen, he's 33.5 over here. He's 34.5 on PrizePicks. You can take it 29.5 here. You take those two together, it's 2x. Bijan Robinson, 89.5 rush plus receiving yards. That brings us to 3x. And then, guys, don't forget there is MLB today, and Mr. Snellzilla is on the mound tonight. Snell, that's right. Snell, guys. Snell. Can you snell it? Vlad Guerrero sold his soul yesterday. I don't mind going right back to him. I mean, it's just, what are you going to take for Vlad today? One thing that I was looking at is Gilbert under 5.5 strikeouts. Well, under 4.5, I guess you would say now. I honestly don't know if he's going to be able to strike out 5 Toronto Blue Jays. Now, I like the line better at 5, which it is on PrizePicks, but they don't pay you as much. This is pretty much taking under on a goblin, okay? Because his 4.5 is a goblin. Now, here's the thing. Toronto doesn't strike out a lot at all. And in addition to that, Gilbert's arm, they've been using him. His arm may not be up to snuff right now. So that is something to consider, under 4.5 or under 5Ks. I'm not going to put it in this specific slip because I think that starts, but I did want to throw that out there just in case there are some people that watch it. I loved Snell at 15.5 pitching outs. They moved it up to 17.5. Now it's at 16.5 on PrizePicks. I really do think that Snell comes out and deals. You could take his fantasy score, but there's also the looming thing that he is due regression. And then when it comes to the Brewers and the Dodgers, it's literally just playing roulette. But I am taking Dodgers money line because I will be a fool to not take Dodgers money line when a guy like Blake Snell's on the mound. He's just too good right now. I don't care. He's just too good. And whenever he's on the mound, you got to consider the Dodgers money line. I don't know what I'm going to do with Blake Snell yet, but I did want to give you that little tip for baseball. In addition to that, you could go back to Springer. You could go back to Oyarny, Kiki, Do You Love Me, Mr. October. Okay, you could go right back to the man. Mr. Kiki Hernandez, 0.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Kiki, do you love me? Pretty sure he put up a goose egg the other time we had him. It's fine. We go right back to him. Or we just keep it the NFL and we look at a bear. The problem with the Bears is that I don't know which one I want to take. It's like the problem with these quarterbacks, the problem with these teams is that they can spread it around. So you got Moore, Romo Dunze, Cole Kmet, Swift, etc. You could just take Romo Dunze to get 4 catches. That would be pretty much, I would say, has to be hitting. Or you could just take Caleb Williams to get 24.5 rushing yard. If we go back to the model, you can see Caleb Williams is projected for 26 rushing yards and 33 pass attempts. Now, the pass attempts would fit the trailing game script. I do think that is good. 31. If he's at 31 and he's projected for 33, it's great. But I have been getting schooled by the pass attempts lines lately, and I'm just sick of it. And then at the other side, if I think that Jaden Daniels and Ja'Cory Bill is rushing the ball, the clock is going to continue to move, and he just doesn't get opportunity, okay? Or the Bears could just go out there and just clean house and dominate. I do think Caleb Williams should be able to get 25 rushing yards. It's going to be tight, but I still like it. So I would take his rushing yards or his 31.5 pass attempts. I think either one of those would be fine. You could see you're not getting too much more of a payout, 5.9 versus, where is the rush yards? And another thing that I like to do on the live stream, guys, by the way, is I like to take the guys that no one's really heard of and put them, see if we can find value in them in a slip. Like Brashard Smith last night, that people were like, who is that? And then he cashed. It's like that. Those are the best things. I mean, granted, every Chiefs square cashed, but those are fun things to do in the live streams. So again, I'm not 100% sure on how I'm going to structure this, but I do like these 4 right here a lot and everything else that I gave you with it. You don't have to tail direct. You can just take 1 or 2. You can just take Jaden Daniel at 39.5 rushing yards straight up. Okay, you don't have to parlay this stuff. Anything more than 2 legs is a dumpster fire anyways. Another thing that I would be curious to look at is the Tyler Algier rushing yards at 29.5. I know his true line is 30.5, but he is their bruiser back, quote unquote bruiser back. And if anything were to happen to Bijan, you know that he's going to get in the mix. And he has been good this year. This is the best I've ever seen him. So I honestly think that is fine. They have a ton of promos on here. They had James Cook, Snell, NHL ones. I mean, I maxed a bunch of these out already is the problem. They have Vladdy up here boosted at half a run. I do apologize for my energy just not being there totally today. Again, guys, I am in a ton of pain. I don't take the narcotic. The only pain management they give you is just a bunch of pills. I don't really do that. So I'm just, trying to get through it and praying to the Lord that it just goes away eventually. I'm doing my part, stretching, everything I can do, but it's on my mind 24/7. If you've had any type of nagging pain, you know how miserable it can make a person. So again, I do appreciate you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. It does help me out. By the time NBA rolls around, you guys will be, everything will be back to normal, hopefully. But I know you guys ate during MLB season, so you should be good. But there's a couple other guys that I'm thinking of. I just don't know like what I want to do with them yet. But like Kyle Pitts is receptions or his receiving yards, and then Romo Dunze's receiving receptions at 3.5. I mean, I love that square. I like it at 4.5 a lot too. I think Rome is gonna have to get 5 catches if they have any chance to win this game. But again, who knows what they did in their bye week? Maybe we could come out here and see a totally different offense. It's going to be fun to see. I don't think either team is all that great, but it is what it is. So anyways, guys, if you do want to tail, it is promo code CRUSH. I did put the lineup in. I don't know why it didn't show, but I did put that 4 in. It's glitching on my end and it's showing all my info, so I don't want to show it, but promo code CRUSH on Parlay Play. It'll take you to the dance, 30 free days of the Discord. Also, you'll get a deposit match, guys. They're pretty decent app. I recommend it. If they were garbage, I wouldn't partner with them, trust me. And then on the MLB live front, guys, yesterday it was J-Rod. What was it? I had a slip that was literally so sweat free, and I'm like, why didn't I just nuke this? It was like J-Rod's live line and Springer. They're 1.5 hits, runs, RB. This line for J-Rod yesterday, sweat free. After he had just chalked 5 days in a row, he finally comes through. That is how baseball is. And Springer hit his yesterday. And I think you can be looking. I'm not telling you to go back to those guys, but I'm telling you, make sure you're looking at this stuff. Don't just disregard MLB because NFL is here. NFL is so hard with the big events. You'll understand. But NBA's will be here shortly, and MLB is going to be missed. So here's the salute. Good luck in all your contests. And as always, my brothers and sisters in Christ, let's crush.